So, we're here to talk about what's happened in the second round so far. No use in wasting time. Let's get right into it. Last uploaded video on Monday, and since then, 5 games have been played. Game 1 and 2 of the Sixers versus Celtics series. Game 2 of the Nuggets versus Celtics. Oh my. Since the last time I uploaded, 5 games have been played. Games 1 and 2 of Sixers versus Celtics. Game 1 of Lakers versus Warriors. Game 2 of Nuggets versus Suns. And Game 2 of Knicks versus Heat. We're going to talk about all these series, so no point in wasting time. Let's get right into it. I'll start with the games that happened on Monday. Game 1 of Philly versus Boston. Now, this series is very interesting. This game, I already predicted the series is 6 and 7. If you guys watched the last video, you would know. But this game, Joel Embiid didn't play. Joel Embiid was out for this game. But the Sixers still won. Which relates to something later on in the video that I'm going to talk about. But James Harden had an all-time playoff James Harden performance. 45 points, 6 assists, 1 rebound. Amazing efficiency. He was carrying the Sixers to this win. And he was the one who pretty much essentially had the game-winning shot. Then, of course, Tyrese Maxey also stepped up. DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris. All these guys stepped up. And the Celtics did not have enough to fight against it. I mean, Jason Tatum had a great game. 39 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. I remember I was looking at the stat sheet at halftime. And both him and Harden had 20 plus at halftime. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a great game. But they still lost. The Celtics shouldn't have lost this game. The Sixers had every reason to lose this game. They didn't have their MVP candidate. They shot worse from the field. They shot better from 3 because they were lighting out from 3, and they shot better from the free throw line. But they shot less free throws. They got less rebounds. They didn't really. It doesn't make sense that they won this game, to be honest. But I guess James Harden's just built like that, man. James Harden is just like that. It's rare that a team shoots 58% from the field, 38% from 3, and 94% from the free throw line, and still loses. It's very rare that you'd see that in today's NBA. So, props to the Sixers for Game 1. We'll talk about Game 2 later. Game 2 of Nuggets versus Suns. The Nuggets are very good. I expected them to win the series from the start. They're up 2-0. Jokic had a ridiculous performance, even because Game 1, Jamal Murray came through, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., all these guys had great games. This game, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. did not play well. But the Nuggets still won thanks to Jokic's heroics, and somehow they got it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And look, the Suns only scored 87 points. A team with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker only scored 87 points. Chris Paul had 8. It's really that they just didn't have help, because Devin Booker had a good game. He had 35, 6 and 5. Kevin Durant, 24, 3 and 8. Good games from each of those guys. There's only one other player who scored in double digits, and that was DeAndre Ayton with 14. The team did not help them at all. And from what I'm seeing here in the stat sheet, the field goal percentage was not great. The 3-point percentage was absolutely horrible. I mean, the shooting from both teams wasn't good, but it really cost the Nuggets this game, or the Suns this game, because the Suns lost by 10, and a few threes could have got them back in the game at the end there, but it didn't work out that way. The Nuggets are up 2-0. They keep home court advantage. Going to Phoenix now. The Suns have a lot of changes that they got to make. They got to find a way to stop Jokic somehow. And they got to hit their shots. They got to get the right guys in the game who can hit their shots. Because if it's just KD and D-Book doing work, you're not going to win the series. And that's why I got Nuggets in 7. But I'm not going to let my prediction influence me talking about the game. The Nuggets are in a good spot. From the Nuggets' perspective, they are in a good spot. They had a game where their 2 supporting stars had bad games. And they still won because their MVP candidate dropped 39, 16, and 5. And he led them. And some of these shots he was making were ridiculous. He would just take the ball, spin move, hook, and it wouldn't even make sense. It wouldn't even look like a shot that should go in, but it still went in. So I guess it's Jokic, man. He's one of the best players in the NBA, definitely a top 5, maybe even top 3 player in the NBA right now. We shouldn't really be surprised to be seeing this from him. I'm gonna talk about Heat versus Knicks first. Heat versus Knicks, game 2. This game, Jimmy Butler was out, and the Knicks won probably because Jimmy Butler was out. Gabe Vincent had 21 and Cale Martin had 22. So the Heat did a pretty decent job of covering up for what they missed with Jimmy Butler, and they only lost by 6. But the Knicks just had too much. Julius Randle dropped 25, 8 and 12, almost triple-double. Jalen Brunson with 30, Josh Hart with 14, 11, and 9, a near triple-double for him as well. This is why I'm saying, because another reason I had the Knicks win the series is because Jimmy Butler's going to run out of fuel. Jimmy Butler is not Superman. He has, as crazy as he be playing these days, he is not Superman. He's not a superhuman. He is still a human, just like the rest of us. So at the end of the day, he's going to run out of gas at some point too, which is why I have the Knicks win the series, because the Knicks have more assets, especially off the bench, that can come in and produce for the team. So it sucks that Jimmy gets injured. I would love to see an AC make the conference finals, but it looks like, I have a feeling the Knicks got it, especially with Jimmy. We don't know how serious the injury is, of course, but with Jimmy being tired, the Knicks I think got this. But you never know. Anything is possible. Tyler Hero is still questionable. I don't know what's going on with him. We'll see if he comes back. Bam is still there. Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry. This is still a decent team. It's just I don't know how good they are with Jimmy Butler, and I don't know if they can beat this Knicks team without Jimmy Butler. One thing I do want to check is the rebounding numbers, and yeah, the Knicks completely embarrassed the Heat on the boards today. 50 rebounds to the Heat's 34 rebounds. Ridiculous. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. These are the 2 points I made. Jimmy's gonna run out of gas, and the Knicks are gonna win the rebounding battle. So of course the series isn't over yet. It's still 1-1, but you don't know what's gonna happen because the injuries, and the Knicks are actually good this year. The Knicks in the conference finals sounds crazy, but then again, the AC in the conference finals sounds crazy as well. We'll see what happens. And then there goes the big one, the Lakers versus Warriors. Everybody was anticipating this series. Everybody was ready to see this. Curry versus LeBron again. And it was a great game. I didn't see the whole game, but I saw a good amount of it, especially the fourth quarter. And from what I saw, it was a really good game. Curry struggled a bit, but this is actually a game where Clay and Jordan Poole made up for it and actually came through when Curry wasn't hitting his shots. And then the fourth quarter, Curry actually hit his shots, and then the Warriors got back into the game. At one point, they were down by like 14, and then just like that, they were down by, it was a tied game. It wasn't even down. It was a tied game. They tied up the game after a few threes, and Kevon Looney had 10 points, 23 rebounds. Curry had 27, Clay had 25. Jordan Poole had 21, and it could have been 24, but he missed the shot. He missed that shot. And honestly, in that situation, 8 seconds left on the clock. He pulls up from way behind the three-point line. He's open. Curry's being double-teamed. He can't get the ball. It's hard for him to get a good shot. So they give it to Jordan Poole, and he's wide open behind the three-point line. A shot that we've seen him make. Honestly, in that situation, it's not the best shot. There were definitely better options, but I can't say it was the worst option. In that situation, you're thinking fast. You got to think fast. You got to think critically. It's 8 seconds. You don't have time to actually stop and make the right decision. Of course, there's things that he could have done to help them possibly win this game in those last few seconds, but it's not exactly a good situation to be in. It's a tough situation to be in. So I can't really blame him. As bad of a decision as it was, or as questionable, I should say, I can't really be too hard on him for what he did. Of course, there's definitely better options, like I said, but it is what it is. And this is still a 7-game series. The Warriors are still one of the best home teams in the league. They can win game 2. And on the road, we'll see what happens, but they can definitely win game 2. When it comes to the Lakers, how they played really well. LeBron, 22 and 11 and 4. AD, 30, 23 and 5. This Lakers team just continues to show they're like that. Like, after those trades they made at the deadline, D'Angelo Russell, Dennis Schroeder, and Jared Vanderbilt are 3 of them, and Rui Hachimura as well. Those are 4 of the most impactful players on this team right now. So the Lakers made the right decisions, and now they're getting what they asked for, man. They're getting multiple rotational players who are able to support LeBron and AD. And LeBron and AD had amazing games tonight. But if they don't have an amazing game, you got supporting guys who can make up for that. Jared Vanderbilt on defense, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo on offense. Like, these guys can step up when they need to. And they've shown that throughout these playoffs. So the Lakers have a good chance of winning the series. It's too early to say anything, but we'll see what happens, man. It's definitely going to be a good series regardless. Joel Embiid was crowned as the NBA's MVP this year. Joel Embiid deserved it. I predicted him from the beginning of the year. I had him as my MVP at the end of the year, and he won it. And then they lost by 30. They didn't exactly lose by 30. They did lose by, if we're being complete, no, they lost by 34. Yeah, they lost by 34. They didn't lose by 30. They lost by 34. But yeah, Joel came back and they lost, which is very interesting because Joel didn't have a great game. Only 15 points. You expect better than that from him because he averaged 33 on the year. So really, 15 points is not a good game at all. The highest score for the Sixers in this game was Tobias Harris with 16. You don't want Tobias Harris being your lead scorer. No disrespect, but when you got Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey, you don't want Tobias Harris as your leading scorer. And James Harden, he had 12 points in this game. Compared to his last game, huge. He fell off. He fell off, man. He did not have a good game at all. But it's still a 7-game series. The Celtics played well, and they got rewarded. Jason Tatum didn't even have a good game, to be honest. I guess it's Embiid's first game back from injury, and it is playoff basketball, so you don't expect him to come out guns blazing, amazing, like dropping 40, but still a bit of a disappointing game. And the Celtics just showed why they were the Eastern Conference champs last year. A good Celtics game, a huge blowout. Not good for the Sixers at all. They're gonna revise stuff. Doc Rivers, he's a good coach. He should make some changes, and they should be back in Philly for Game 3. And we'll see what happens then. But for now, that's all. I don't want to keep this too long. I guess there's not really much else for me to say. I did want to mention the Chris Paul injury because Chris Paul did get injured for the Suns, and that also lessens the chances of the Nuggets losing the series because Chris Paul is, as old as he is, he's still a good contributor for the Suns right now. And when Cameron Payne is your replacement for Chris Paul as your starting point guard, you never know what's gonna happen. I feel very good about that if I'm a Suns fan. But we'll see what happens. It's still 2-0. People come back from down 2-0 before. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm gonna end it here. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, share. Comment down below any tips, tricks, or topics you have me to talk about. I am coming out with more videos, stuff, just more stuff in general is coming. Just wait, please. Just give me late June, early July is when you can expect the big stuff to come. That's what I'm gonna say. If it's not there by then y'all can start complaining. But I'm telling you, the stuff that's coming is gonna be good and you're gonna love it. So turn on notifications so you get notified about those videos. You know what I'm saying? I gotta smooth it. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.